Yes, I can. Hey. Good yourself?
Hi, how are you? Glad to hear.
From actors Alia Bhatt, Deepika Padukone and Priyanka Chopra Jonas to cricketers Sachin Tendulkar, MS Dhoni and Virat Kohli, Indian celebrities are now taking their star power to startups. You could say, well, brand endorsements by stars is not a new phenomenon. But let me tell you that celebrities are not stopping at just being brand ambassadors anymore. They're now actively engaging with founders and taking early bets in what could possibly be seen as disruptive businesses, turning into serious investors. We know tech is hot and investing in tech gives bragging rights, but celebs will argue otherwise. From chemical-free organic skincare to plant-based meat to millet-made baby food, stars are investing in startups that fit with their personal philosophy and an extension of their brands. In a way, saying that they wouldn't put their money into something that they don't stand for. Now, globally also, we've seen celebrities taking stakes in startups. Serena Williams runs a VC fund that backs female and minority-founded companies. Leonardo DiCaprio is putting his money into green businesses, while Ashton Kutcher-owned Sound Ventures is invested in OpenAI Stability, and Anthropic. Selena Gomez's makeup brand Rare Beauty is breaking the bank. The deal-making is real. Hollywood star George Clooney sold his tequila brand to Diageo in 2017 for about $1 billion. Following in his footsteps in 2020, Deadpool star Ryan Reynolds sold his gin brand Aviation to Diageo for a cool $610 million. And earlier this year, T-Mobile acquired budget wireless company Mint Mobile, backed by Reynolds, in a deal worth $1.35 billion. We can now see that being replicated here in India. For startups, besides celebrity inherent ability to influence the public, especially on social media platforms, they become powerful advocates for the brand and help build credibility that in turn brings both customers and cash. For the celeb, their star power gets longevity and their wealth gets diversified. Hello and welcome to Young Turks, India's longest running show on startups and entrepreneurship. I'm Shereen Bhan. Before I bring my guests onto the program, Shruti joins us now with a quick roundup of celeb investments into Indian startups. Shruti, over to you.
Celebs are no longer just brand ambassadors. They now seek a stake in the success of companies. In 2022 alone, over 18 actors and 12 cricketers invested in various startups. Most investments were made in the direct-to-consumer sector, with some in edtech, e-commerce, food tech, health and fitness, and agri-tech sectors. Here's a look at some of the most active celeb investors. Alia Bhatt's now a big investor in startups, having invested in Super Bottoms, Pool, Nykaa, Stylecracker, and others. She also founded Edamama, a kids' clothing line. Priyanka Chopra Jonas, who expanded her portfolio with her hair care brand Anomaly, is an investor in Genie, Sona, Bumble, the Holberton School, and others. Superstar Deepika Padukone, who launched her self-care brand 82 East in 2022, is an investor in Atomberg Technology, Bellatrix Aerospace, Blue Smart, Front Row Epigamia, and Supertails. Katrina Kaif co-owns beauty brand K-Beauty, while Shilpa Shetty has invested in Mamaearth, Wicked Good, Chicknutrix, Fast and Up, among others. Anushka Sharma invested in Slurv Farm and Blue Tribe in 2022 and previously backed Digit in 2020 along with her husband Virat Kohli. Now, cricketer Virat Kohli too is a big investor with stakes in Galactus, Sports Convo Mobile Premier League, Chisel Fitness, Nuva, Wrong, among others. MS Dhoni too has invested in Khata Book, Cars24, Homelane, Garuda Aerospace, and Shaka Harry. Jenilia and Ritesh Deshmukh are owners of plant-based meat brand Imagine Meats. In fact, just today, Kareena Kapoor has invested in Pluck, a fresh food startup. Kriti Sanon launched her skincare brand Hyphen. She also owns Mistaken. Ranveer Singh invested in Sugar Cosmetics. Malaika Arora, Shilpa Shetty and Sunil Shetty are also active entrepreneurs. Investors to add to that list are Tiger Shroff, who owns an active lifestyle brand Prowl. Varun Dhawan has invested in Eat Fit and Fasten Up. Sara Ali Khan invested in Soul Store, and Kajal Agarwal has a stake in the Ayurveda Co. With that, it's back to you.
All right, Shruti, many thanks for joining us. A long list of celebrity investors there. Joining me now to take this discussion forward is Anand Nagarajan, the co-founder of Shaka Harry, Param Bhargav, the co-founder of the Ayurveda company, and Vedang Patel, the co-founder of the Soul Store. Thanks very much, gentlemen, for joining me on the program. Anand, let me start by asking you, you decided to bring MS Dhoni on board, or you believe that MS Dhoni onboarded you. Take me through what this means for Shaka Harry and how does this arrangement work?
Hey, Shereen, thank you so much for the opportunity to come in and talk about it. Yes, I mean, as entrepreneurs, our entire process is about, as a part of building an organization, we need to be mindful about how we're managing our fundraise process, right? And I think this category of celebrity investors has evolved over the last few years, has obviously matured. You've spoken about a few deals from the international market, and we're already starting to see a lot of that maturity in the domestic market. The process for us has been quite simple. I mean, we have to pitch to people the way we pitch to any investors. We have to show product market fit. We need to show a strong product, strong delivery team, and ultimately, at the end of the day, it's not very different from a regular investor, like an institutional finance investor coming in. So the process is very similar, and then ultimately, Mahi takes a decision in terms of saying, if it's a cause that he wants to back, if it's an investment that he wants to get in on. And that's how the process went for us.
Well, that's as far as the process is concerned. And as you rightly pointed out, that this is a space that has evolved. And we've also seen arrangements between celebrity entrepreneurs, celebrity investors and startups change over time beyond just brand endorsements. But Param, I want to understand from you, as we just heard there from Anand, pitching to celebrities, the Ayurveda company also got Kajal Agarwal, the actor, on board as part of your Series A funding round. Take me through how that worked and what you really hope to achieve with this investment and with this investor specifically.
So, Shereen, thank you for having me. Our journey with Kajal started with our first endorsement when she came as a brand ambassador for our baby care range, right? With that time, it was a very simple actor brand collaboration, and which was primarily more commercial, right? And during the shoot of that, during the production time, we really got to know each other. She got to know the brand, she got to know the founders, and we got to know Kajal, that Kajal herself is a very strong believer of Ayurveda. And she has been using TAC as a general brand before getting to know us. And before, post that, she really understood that, what TAC is trying to build is a completely new age Ayurvedic brand meant for the young generation of the country. And from there, this journey towards, our investment started. We started discussing, that we would be raising our next round. Would you like to come on board? So, it was a 6 months of a period where Kajal and her husband Gautam, both of them kept meeting us, looked at our entire portfolio, entire production, R&D, because she is a very strong believer of Ayurveda and believes that Ayurveda has the power to transform life. And post that, the entire journey began of actually there is a very rare chance that when celebrities actually put money, that's not only a sweat equity because of services, that's a real commitment, skin in the game in types of coming on board during our Series A run. So she became a part. She actually came in a couple of months early before the Sixth Sense round happened for us, and that showed that she has very strong belief in our portfolio, in our ethos, and what we are trying to build through Ayurveda, for Ayurveda through TAC. And this partnership is now turning into a beautiful lifelong relationship. We have been contemplating to take this partnership forward time and again by collaborating on many products. The very recent one, we have just launched her first product, which is called Kajal by Kajal. We have launched a product in our association called Kajal by Kajal for it's pure 100% Ayurvedic Kajal.
Okay, well, that's the important point that you mentioned there, that it is now more about having skin in the game, and it's gone beyond just brand endorsements as far as the celebrity association is concerned, and that's what we're seeing happen here. But let me get Vedang into the conversation. Vedang, you have enough star power as far as Soul Store is concerned, because you have the licensed agreements for Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Harry Potter, Disney, Warner Brothers, etc. So you didn't really need the star power in that sense, but you've anyway got more by way of Sara Ali Khan coming on board. Take me through what this really means and how you intend to leverage this investment.
Yeah, I think it's very important that you get the right celebrity to associate with your brand. Today, the consumer completely understands in authentic partnerships. The authenticity of it is what will make it a success. Sara Ali Khan is a youth icon. For our menswear range, we have Hardik Pandya and we had Ravindra Jadeja, both of whom are heroes to the country. When you have this right celebrity that you tie up with, the brand just gets that much more authenticity, trust that is built in. Consumers also then find it more aspirational, and that's the reason we joined. Partnering with people like Sara Ali Khan and Pandya have been amazing. We've always enjoyed working with them. The main surprise and difference that they made is when we do our shoots, they give very good suggestions on what to do, and it works. That actually shows me how deeply they understand the Indian consumer as well. And that's why picking the right celebrity works so well. I think if we had the wrong one that doesn't resonate with our audience, this won't have worked out as well. And we're seeing the suggestions given by, say, Sara on some of our clothing. When we've implemented it, the sales are just shot up. And what's better is Sara likes to promote that clothing even more. And then that's a circular reference we just enjoy a lot.
Yeah, so, it's important to get the alignment right, so between the celebrity as well as the brand, and I think that's what we're seeing play out, at least in each of your cases. But Anand, I want to go back to the point that was being made by each one of you, that what is now being seen is that the celebrity investors do have skin in the game. It's not just a passive investment anymore, at least not for the ones that you're associated with. Now, explain the economics of how this works to me, because if there is a brand endorsement deal, then, it's for a certain period, there's a certain amount attached to it. If it's not sweat equity, how does the IRR work on a deal like this? Let's take the MS Dhoni Shaka Harry Association, for example.
Shireen, deals, I think, are quite individual, right? In terms of how you see them play between where the organization is, which round you are, how mature the company is, and how late in the growth cycle or early. I mean, in our case, I think in less than a year, we actually approached Mahi's office and asked whether they'd partner with us, because something unique in terms of where we were was the concept of what we were doing was new. Right, and we needed someone like him to come in and stand behind the cause, stand behind the purpose in terms of where we and what we're building. Now, when you start looking at those deals, I think creating value in that partnership in terms of finding people that you can share both purposes and create a valuable engagement is typically what we're looking at, right? And there are lots of levers. I mean, unlike very traditional financial investors, with celeb investors, yes, there are a lot of levers, but it's I think it's left to the imagination of both the entrepreneurs and the celebrities that you're working with. And with Mahi, it's been an absolute, it's been a joy run for us, right? I mean, we now sit down and talk about product. He has inputs in terms of saying, hey, listen, what should our product portfolio look like, and what should our messaging look like?
So he's involved. He's involved not just with strategy, but even with product.
Yes. So when we sit down and meet, he has questions in terms of saying where traction is, right? He has inputs for us that says, hey, why don't you consider these kind of additions in your product? And something that we met the last time, and he's like, hey, listen, what's your fiber content? Now, something as technical as talking about that on a product level. it makes it a far more meaningful engagement when you start finding people that you can work with. And it's not just strategic, but it's a very deep relationship that goes for a long time.
Okay. Param, I just want to take that point forward, what we heard there from Anand. In Anand's case, you're actually creating a new category, and perhaps bringing celebrity influence on board helps with the category creation. In a segment like yours, where there is a fair amount of competition as well, it perhaps helps to bring a celebrity on board in terms of customer acquisition. Is that one of the primary reasons why you would get into an arrangement like this?
So Shireen, there were multiple reasons for us to bring in Kajal on board. It was definitely as a category, it's a highly competitive and a cluttered category. But because we are very uniquely positioned in Ayurveda, we also wanted someone who motivates and comes from the southern part of the country where Ayurveda has been predominantly very strong, and an actor who's worked, say, for 16 plus years, and she was very young when she started her journey. So, and there it really made sense that the effort she has put in to build Kajal as a brand would obviously also help us build TAC as a brand. A lot of learnings will come in. She herself is very motivated. She worked, tremendously with us when we were launching this Kajal by Kajal. She brings in a lot of, knowledge of how do we integrate beauty products in, say, her movies or any other collaboration which we look forward when we are doing with, various other celebrities. Because going forward as a brand, we would have to collaborate from younger generation celebrities, Bollywood, Tollywood, multiple categories, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of knowledge comes in, a lot of network comes in, a lot of network access comes in. By being a celebrity, she has been a user of beauty, makeup, wellness forever, right? So a lot of her experience of particularly also is utilized in, during product development phase, that how do we bring out unique formulations of Ayurveda for this young generation. So, that's why we feel that, it's a great partnership to have, that when, driven celebrities are coming in, definitely, it makes sense for them to have, additional source of income going forward. But it adds a lot of value specifically to a beauty brand like us.
Speaking of adding value, Vedang, and to the point that was being made there by both Anand as well as Param, what about the fear of commoditization? I mean, these are celebrities. Sara Ali Khan is endorsing a whole bunch of other brands, for instance, as well. In the mind of the consumer, is there a fear of clutter, commoditization as well, for you to then bring her on board and have this deep strategic partnership evolve?
No, absolutely. I think that's always something that the consumer does fear. In fact, very few partnerships seem authentic today. A lot of them do seem like, okay, just gave a lot of money and that person just did what or spoke what they were supposed to. The difference is that you have to find the right celebrity who matches your brand perfectly. And very few people and brands do this. I feel the authenticity of perfect match ads does make a winning combination, else a lot of these partnerships don't work. But for us, Sara Ali Khan was first an investor and then a brand endorser. So the equation was very different. I think for the way we thought about it is that she liked the brand so much. The business was doing well. I think she's right now pretty much in also multiples of her investment. And then we thought that, she does resonate with the youth. She is an icon. She's an aspirational figure, and the kind of merchandise that we do goes really well with her. And then, for me, the proof of the pudding is when we put a product on Sara Ali Khan and versus a regular model, the sales on Sara Ali Khan are just fundamentally much better. The click-through rates and all the metrics that e-commerce tracks are just super. So actually, she has recovered her money in just performance marketing before, without even counting about the aspirational value and the brand uplift that you get. And don't forget, India is very prone to hero worship, and especially in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, the next avenue of growth. And people like Sara Ali Khan do help us, crack into that market.
Speaking of value, and Anand, I want to come back to you now. For all of the things that we just heard there from Vedang and Param as well, what are we talking about in terms of the kind of equity that companies like yours are willing to part with to get somebody like, Sara Ali Khan or Dhoni or any of these other celebrities that we've just spoken of on board?
See, Shireen, equity is basically a build of, again, the value that you're creating, right? I mean, people, I keep saying this to a lot of startups. We keep discussing this quite commonly, saying we shouldn't get stuck up on the percentage, right? I mean, it's, I think Mark Cuban says it's best saying, do you want to have 100% of a lemon or 40% of a watermelon, right? So it's about how you're able to jointly create value. And I think for us from Shaka Harry, from where as early as we signed up with Mahi and got him on board, is about jointly creating value together. So it's not really about how much percentage, and I don't think you'd really find a single answer from someone says, hey, this is how much percentage. They're investors at the end of the day. They bring value, it's commensurate with what they're bringing to the table.
Are they also bringing cash on board?
Yes. So they're bringing a lot of things, right? So they're bringing credibility, they're bringing cash, they're bringing connections, they're bringing a lot of attention for you. The kind of places where we're seeing uplifts, you have the obvious wins in terms of storefront, on store shelves with consumers. With someone like Mahi is an absolute win, right? Upfront, you will win that. But places where we're seeing a lot more that we probably wouldn't have guessed up front would have been in areas like recruitment, right? We're able to attract a lot of great industry talent coming in, right? People just saying, because they've heard of they know that, and your intentions are also open. It's, I mean, in the startup world, people want to know that they're going to back a company that's ambitious in terms of ready. And when you're bringing in someone like Mahi in, we're obligated to build something of significant value. So we're seeing a lot of uplifts in not just the consumer side, but even in the ecosystem itself.
And that's an important point, and let me bring that across to Param as well. As we just heard there from Anand, it's not just customer acquisition that the star power helps you with. It helps you build credibility, it helps you build trust, and it helps you even as far as bringing the right kind of talent is concerned. Param, given the experience that you've had now with Kajal Agarwal, is this something that you are leaning to do more of?
Absolutely. So as a strategy for us for the next round, so we are already in discussion with few other celebrities to join our journey. Our journey has been very, very interesting. That my wife is my co-founder, and she suffered through a very, painful childhood, and because of that, we entered into Ayurveda. We got solutions, and when we meet, a lot of celebrities, though they have become celebrities, they come from very normal backgrounds, right? And wherever we are finding that connection as well as their brand value, and it becomes a match, we are open for new people joining as shareholders for the brand and for the company which we are creating, right? So there are multiple discussions going on for our Series B, and typically, as you asked, Anand, so for us, Kajal also added cash, pure cash in the business, and we would structure something similar going for very strong believers. Just sweat equity does not bring in skin in the game, right? If they are willing to go to that distance, that they are putting their hard-earned money into the business, they would definitely work in parallel, in tandem with us, that how do we make it large, how do we make it big, and how do we make it right?
Okay.
So that's very clear that any celebrity or any has to be one strong believer of Ayurveda, strong face for the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 markets, and who comes in with a kind of a journey that we have also left.
Vedang, very quickly, like Param, are you also in dialogue, in conversation with other celebrities to bring them on board as far as the Stole store is concerned? And in terms of the structure of these arrangements and these associations, what's been the big learning so far?
So we use them as financial investors first. There's no preferential treatment given to a celebrity as a financial investor versus an institute versus some of my friends and family who are angels. Because it's always important to separate the two parts, right? Everyone has different roles in the company. Their role as an investor and their rights as an investor are very different from their roles as a celebrity and their rights as a celebrity. And we love putting the two buckets separately. I think the moment you don't do that, it can get very muddled. You have to then.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine the complications that would happen in that scenario, right? Like if everyone's then thinking about the amount of value that they add, it's pretty intangible, and then that becomes very separate. So they have to give money to have this investment, and just like any other investor, hopefully they get a good return on that.
Well, so ensure that you have a tangible structure in place, even as you value the intangible which the star power brings to the table. That's really the big lesson here from Anand, Param and Vedang. Skin in the game, not just passive investors, not just brand ambassadors. There has been an evolution, and we're likely to see much more of this play out in the startup ecosystem with celebrity investors coming on board. Thanks very much, gentlemen, for joining us here on this edition of Young Turks. We wish you the very best of luck, and we look forward to speaking with you again. That's a wrap on this edition of Young Turks from all of us here on the team. Goodbye. Many thanks for watching. We're back in a moment with more.